Today, I will talk about our study. The plantaris muscle substantially increases stiffness of the MTP joint in kangaroo rats. Kangaroo rats are bipedal rodents that hop on irregular and unpredictable terrain. To adapt to any sort of terrain they may encounter, the joints of their feet must be compliant at the point of landing, but they also need to be stiff at the point of takeoff to produce the force necessary for the next jump. Because the digital flexor and the plantaris tendons cross the MTP joint of the toes, they must have some effect on the production of stiffness of that joint. Our first goal is to determine how the different postures of the leg at landing and takeoff and the activation of these two muscles affect the moment generation at the MTP. Our second goal is to determine how much each muscle can modulate the stiffness of the joint. For this, we secure the limb of the animal in the desired positions, landing or takeoff, and then recorded the MTP moment created when these different muscles were stimulated and the MTP was rotated. We also used a buccal transducer to measure the force produced in the tendon of the PL, and we used two stimulation levels. This is what a typical trial looks like for the force and moments generated by the muscles. We can see that during the initial isometric period, the force and moment increase after the stimulation starts and increase substantially during the rotation of the MTP joint. This data allows us to determine the half-rise time of the isometric period, which is the time it takes to reach half of the steady state of the moment. Figure 4 shows that for the PL, half-rise time is slower in the more extended landing posture, consistent with the hypothesis that the PL tendon is slack during landing. The moment generated during MTP rotation was used to calculate the stiffness that the muscles produced. After the initial moment values were removed, we can observe that the PL and DF produce a similar amount of stiffness for the postures and activations level tested. The purpose of these experiments was to help us understand the roles that the PL and DF muscles have in determining foot stiffness during hopping. The PL muscle is more slack during landing, helping the MTP joint to start compliant. The PL is then able to stiffen the MTP joint during takeoff, in addition to providing an ankle extension moment.